Aloha friends. First update. Actually, I did not brush my hair. I did, however, switch to shampoo. I don't even remember what we were using. Maybe it was Pantene or something, but I switched to Head & Shoulders because it was on sale. Yeah, I haven't been to a hairdresser in forever. You can probably tell. But look, it's actually, besides being full of white hairs, it's actually laying down. It's not as pokey outy wangs as it used to be. So no, I didn't brush my hair, but I did shampoo it. That's the key, I guess. Anyhow, why am I here today? Because I was researching banana bread recipes. I don't really like banana bread, so I was looking for banana bread options. My favorite bread is actually mango bread, but we don't have enough mangoes yet. Next to that, I would say zucchini bread, then pumpkin bread, and then banana bread. So that's like fourth in line. Actually, it would be fifth because I think I like lemon poppy seed more than banana bread. Anyhow, I had made in the past a chocolate banana bread that I used to like, and I couldn't remember the recipe. So I was just researching, because I love to read recipes. For real, I do, for real. And I was reading this one and it sounded phenomenal. It had sour cream, so it was moist, and it had all the ingredients that I already have. So I was like, perfect. And sister says at the end, be sure to use Dutch processed cocoa. Natural will not work. And I thought, why? What's the diff? And if I'm asking what's the diff, I know you are as well. So here I am to educate you. Dutch processed, forget the brand. Dutch processed cocoa is different from natural because it's been processed. Bah! So natural cocoa is in its natural state, just ground chocolate, which means it's an acid. So when you have a recipe that calls for cocoa or natural cocoa, you need to add a base, like baking soda. So just remember, if you're using natural cocoa, you probably have a baking soda element in that recipe. And what that does is it neutralizes the acid. And when it does that, it removes the bitterness of natural cocoa. I know it doesn't seem right that cocoa would be bitter, but it can be. It removes the bitterness, but also it creates that bubble. When you have an acid and a base, it creates that bubble reaction, which lightens your cake, makes it buoyant, gives you a nice moist cupcake or muffin, right? So it creates those air pockets, the bubble reaction. Now, Dutch processed cocoa, right? Where's the back? Where's the front? There it is. Dutch processed cocoa is processed, which means it includes a base in it to smooth it out. The idea is you could take this and eat it. Not really, because it's unsweetened, baby. Add some sugar to it. But that's the idea, that it's already neutralized. So you could take it and use it and enjoy the flavor. So it's a richer flavor, for sure. But if you're baking with it, you're probably adding a baking powder, because the baking powder has less soda, baking soda, than baking soda directly. So let me recap. Natural cocoa is a straight up pure acid. So when you're baking, you're going to neutralize with a baking soda base, and that creates that bubbly reaction and neutralizes the bitterness of the natural cocoa. Dutch processed cocoa, put your logo, right, already has base added to it as it's being processed. So you don't need as much baking soda to it. So your recipe probably already has baking powder instead of baking soda in it. So what if you have a recipe that says only use Dutch or only use natural and you don't have it? Can you substitute? Yeah. Yes, you can. For real. Cocoa is cocoa. Come on, you do you, right? That's what I'm always telling you. You cook your way. Mahalo nui for enriching our lives. If you really, though, want to do a legitimate substitute, it's pretty logical. If you have a recipe that calls for natural cocoa and you only have Dutch, like me today, basically what you're going to do is, because this already contains the baking soda that the recipe will ask for, substitute with a half of the baking soda for baking powder, and that'll bring the baking soda down. If you don't, so if you have a natural cocoa recipe and you use, the only sub you do is Dutch and you leave everything else the same, meaning you keep that baking soda in there, you're going to have a slight bitterness to it, not bitterness, soapiness to it, because you're going to be tasting more baking soda, right? Because this already has the baking soda in it. So you're like, adding a little too much. So you want to have the amount of baking soda by baking powder. If your recipe calls for natural and you only have Dutch and you want to substitute that way. If your recipe calls for Dutch and you only have natural, it's the opposite. You will want to add more baking soda to account for that, because that means there's something else in your recipe that already is acting as that leavening, right? So your Dutch process recipe might already have vinegar or some other kind of base to counter that. So rule of thumb, just go have natural and Dutch on hand. Or my solution prior to this, I ran out, so that's why I have Dutch, was getting King Arthur's triple cocoa. And that is a mix. It's a blend of Dutch and natural, so that you could actually substitute it through any recipe. So anyway, welcome to Hau'oli's Science Corner Kitchen. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it was quite educational, and I was stoked that all I had was Dutch when that recipe called for Dutch, because now I'm going to make me some chocolate banana bread. I know I said banana, but it has chocolate. It's got to be good. It might actually push the level up, as long as it's not straight up banana. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I apologize if it was too much, too overboard, but you know what? That's how it is. I love you. Bye.